Good morning, you guys. I hope you are having a magnificent, wonderful, magical Monday morning. Happy Labor Day. I hope you're not working today. I'm not. Most of the people I know aren't. So that's a good day. It's freaking September. That is so crazy to me. It's September. I have coffee on this side and water on this side, and I don't know which one I wanted to drink. Let's drink some water and hydrate ourselves. Yum. Okay. Happy September. It is the Burr months. It is my favorite time of the year. If you didn't know, how dare you? However, I love the fall season from the 1st of September until December 31st. You cannot tell me anything. I am happy all of the time. That's not true, but I try really hard. I'm just in like better spirits and all of that jazz. I am a fall winter girl. Now, I do get a little bit of seasonal depression in like January, February time frame. After Christmas is rough for me because I love Christmas so much that I just have a hard time transitioning. Whatever. I read 15 books in August. That's what you're here to talk about. 15 books, and we are going to talk about them. I read 2 5-star plus books, so we're going to talk about those 2 books first. The 2 5-star plus books that I read were obviously Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World. If you're new here, I discovered Abby Jimenez at the beginning of 2024 as an author and absolutely fell in love with her work. I think she is both heart-wrenching as well as hysterical, and I just absolutely have loved this entire Part of Your World series. Every single book in it got 5 stars plus from me. You don't have to read them in order. You can if you want to. The order is Part of Your World, Yours Truly, and then Just for the Summer. I actually accidentally read them in backwards order. I got Just for the Summer as my summer read back in like May or so, probably. And I was like, oh, this will be a good summer read. And then realized it was book 3 in kind of a series. You don't have to read them in order. The characters are mildly connected, but you can definitely read them as standalones. And so Part of Your World was part of it. And that's actually the first book that came out in this kind of world. And I just wish I could go back and reread those 3 books for the first time again. They were so unbelievably good. Those are going to go down as like my ride or dies. I plan to do a video of books that I will not hear any negativity about. You see that video all the time, book talkers doing it. Like books I will hear no criticism on. And Abby Jimenez's Part of Your World series as a whole is absolutely included in the books that I will hear no criticism on. 0 criticisms. So that was my first 5-star plus read of the month. And then my second 5-star plus read of the month was another like rom-com, surprisingly. And that was called The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. Not going to talk too much about it because I just did last week a whole video on this book. This book has its own review. You can find it on Coffee and Lore. Just look up Coffee and Lore, The Rom-Commers, and it should pop up for you. And I cry in the video, so if you want to see Coffee and Lore in pain, that is the review for you, because that one just, like, there are lines in that book that made me sob, I tell you. So that was my other 5-star plus read of the month. Now we're just going to go in order as I read them, not necessarily in like rating order, like best to worst or whatever. So the first book that I read in August, I think I started it at the end of July, but I just didn't finish it, was Starbringer by Tracy Wolff. I gave it 3 stars. I did enjoy it. Tracy Wolff also wrote the Crave series. That is how I ended up with that book, because I did enjoy the Crave series, at least the first 3 or so books of the Crave series. I will say the last book wasn't my favorite, but I did enjoy the first handful of books in that series. So I read it because it was by Tracy Wolff, and I did enjoy it. It is a ragtag group of young adults who essentially steal a spaceship, and one of them's a princess, one of them's like a sister, like not a nun, but like kind of like that. She's like a priestess. There's a couple of escaped prisoners. It's a good little series, and they just do space hijinks and try to save the world. And so that's what Starbringer's about. If you like that kind of thing, adventure, if you're okay with YA and space, I would highly recommend it to you. My next read is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have been chasing the Taylor Jenkins Reid high of Evelyn Hugo for a very long time with that author. I gave this book a 3 stars. I am struggling. I don't know that I'm going to read another Taylor Jenkins Reid book, because the last 2 or 3 that I have read, kind of like I said, searching for that Wives of Evelyn Hugo high that I just absolutely loved. I think I gave Evelyn Hugo 5-star plus 2 years ago. And so I just kind of read everything else by this author, and it's not hitting the same for me. She does great character work, but there's not enough plot. Like, I think that is my conclusion with Taylor Jenkins Reid's books. Her plot is lacking for me, but her character work is very good. So it still did end up being a 3-star for me. I did finish it. Then we get to The Ruin of Kings. If you want to hear more about that book, you can watch my video on reading all of the books I got for my birthday, because I don't want to waste much time on it. It's The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. It got 2 stars from me. It was a struggle bus. Just go watch that video if you want to hear more about it, but it was a 2-star read. Anna Huang's Twisted Love. I started the Twisted series because I'd seen so much about it. I am actually currently listening to Twisted Games in the car when I'm driving, and I like them. They're okay. Twisted Love was okay. I gave it 4 stars because I did enjoy the banter between the 2 main characters, and it was a fun ride. I am enjoying Twisted Games a little bit more, which I have heard consistently from other people as well. I just kind of like the story with Princess Bridget and her bodyguard a little bit more. So currently reading that. Body Check by Elle Kennedy. I gave it 3 stars. This is the lowest I've ever ranked an Elle Kennedy book. I was disappointed, and then I did my research and found out that this is an old book that she had written, and I think it just went to KU or something. So I went ahead and they republished it, and I got it on the republication, and it was just okay. It was definitely not my favorite Elle Kennedy book. The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, also 3 stars. I did this one on Audible. I don't know what to say about it. It was a thriller. I kind of had it figured out pretty early on, and it was just okay. The Sword of Kaigon by M.L. Wang, 3 stars. A lot of 3 stars books for August. It just there was a lot of stuff that fell a little flat, or maybe I got a lot of books for my birthday and read them all this month. Maybe I kind of had higher hopes for some of those. I don't know. But 3 stars for The Sword of Kaigon. It was very military. The battle took over 100 pages. it started so good. If you watch my birthday book video, the first 25 to 30% of that book was top tier. So good. The world building. I was into it. And then somewhere that author lost me. And I forced myself to finish that book. Collide by Bal Cabra. I gave 4 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I expected this to be a 5-star read. I had heard so much about it. Felt just a smidgen short for me. It did feel a little... I don't know if I've been reading too many hockey romances right now because it felt a little rinse and repeat for me. But I enjoyed it. I kicked my feet and read it, and it was a 4-star read. We also have She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica, my first 5-star read for the month. Not a 5-star plus, but a 5-star. Really enjoyed that thriller. Did not see that one coming hardly at all. There could be some that said that the author maybe didn't leave enough breadcrumbs to who the actual killer was. I enjoyed it. I was happy to be shocked. So there you go. That one was great. Another 5-star read was Listen for the Lie. I really liked that as well. Really enjoyed Listen for the Lie, and that was another one that was a thriller. I didn't see the ending coming. Project Hail Mary, however, got a 3-star from me. If you really love science and science experiment, okay, everybody told me to do this one on Audible, so this was the 3rd book I did on Audible for the month. Out of all of these, I read the rest of them and did 3 Audibles. Everybody told me to do this on Audible. It's so, so good. I do not know what in the world they were talking about. What do you mean do this book on Audible? It was so just like listening to a science class. I almost feel like I should have read it because then I could have maybe skimmed or something. I don't know. Guys, maybe I'm just not a high science fiction girl. And I say high science fiction because I like science fiction. But this was really just listening to a man run science experiments for a good portion of this book and talk about elements and oxygen and gravity, and it just wasn't for me, and I wanted it to be so bad. I wanted to be one of those girls that was like, Andy Weir is my holy grail. Like, I wanted it, but it just isn't me, and I've just kind of come to accept that. But I still give it 3 stars because I did enjoy the narrator. And it's got a sweet and heartwarming story at the end, of course. He wraps it up in a very tug-at-your-heartstrings bow. But to get there, you gotta really like science, okay? Oh, surprising 4-star for me was Bound by Ravens by Jessica Sundin. This is on, I don't know, I might have just lied to you. It may not be on KU. I found it because I saw a Facebook ad for a gorgeous physical copy of The Night Market. All right, so sorry about that. The Night Market, though. Absolutely, absolutely love The Night Market. And I saw this physical copy of it. And it was really beautiful. And then I looked at KU and I saw that The Night Market was on KU. So I was like, ooh, I'll read it. If I love it, I'll get the pretty hardback with the sprayed edges. And then I found out that it was in kind of a previously done world in this Bound series on KU. And Bound by Ravens is the name of the first book. And I had actually already downloaded it during like a Stuff Your Kindle day. So had to read Bound by Ravens first. I'm currently reading The Night Market. But Bound by Ravens is really good. It's thieves and fae and hijinks, and it got 4 stars out of me. So if you like fae and love YA kind of love, then highly recommend Bound by Ravens. The last book that I read this month was The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman, and I gave it 3 stars. It is a Arthurian story, like King Arthur and his Round Table and the Knights of the Round Table and Guinevere and all that. I enjoyed this, but I wanted a little bit more original story. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a retelling than just a telling, if that makes any sense. It told a lot of King Arthur's stories. Essentially, you have a young man who has come to Camelot to be a knight of the Round Table right after King Arthur has been killed, and the rest of the knights and him go on like a few adventures, but really it's just a retelling of all of Arthur's kind of stories. It was good. I expected a little bit more original story out of it. I still might give The Magicians a try. That is also by the same author, Lev Grossman. But yeah, that is all 15 books that I read for the month of August. We are starting out the month of September super strong. I'm finishing up The Night Market. I am listening to Twisted Games, and the next book I'm going to read after The Night Market is For the Wolf, which I'm really excited about. And then also there are 2 new releases that I really want to get. The new Lexi Ryan I still haven't picked up, that's in that Twisted Bonds series. I really want to pick that up. And then the Daylight is out. It came out just the other day. Got to pick that up. That's in the Icebreaker and Wildfire world. And I'm really stoked about that book as well. So picking up those 2 new releases hopefully this weekend. I love you guys so, so much. Thanks for coming and caring about what I read and everything that I read for August. Thanks for the likes, subscribes, and shares. I really appreciate it. And have yourself a great September. Bye.